The question is, why don't we know about Sharia? So I just wanted to mention. Now, understand, not everything is meant literally. You need to understand it the way they mean it, but we are not meant to know the Sharia, the fiqh, the law of Islam, which is the final interpretation of the Quran and the Sunnah. The Sunnah is not just the Hadith; it's also the Seerah. All of that taken together, plus the Tafsir, all of that mixed and blended, and the best of those opinions and ideas taken together gives you the Sharia, gives you the fiqh. Sharia, the eternal moral laws of Allah, and the fiqh is the application of that. It is not permissible to give directions and the like to someone who is intending to perpetrate a sin, because it is helping another to commit disobedience. So they can never reveal any of this Islamic stuff. They cannot reveal it to us because we will use it to insult Islam. They cannot give directions to people who are wrongdoers, okay, for corruption. Corruption, technically in Islam, means temptation away from Islam, away from the faith. And teaching questions of sacred law to those learning it in bad faith who do not want to become Muslims, but for unworthy purposes. So it is forbidden, this and many other laws that forbid Muslims from revealing the Sharia to non-Muslims. Fitna, they speak of fitna. Remember, fitna is worse than murder, according to the Quran, right? Yes. Fitna is just temptation, according to the Sharia or the fiqh. Temptation away from Islam is fitna. Fitna is not corruption as in you do something bad. It's just you're leading Muslims away from Islam, and therefore you must be killed. To kill you is better than you leading Muslims away. And of course, let's do one more thing, permissible lying. After this, I want to talk about, we'll get into some of the miracles of Muhammad. There's a chapter within the Sharia called permissible lying. So, of course, Muhammad says he settles disagreements between people to bring about good. Now, this is their definition of good. Okay, or peace. This person is not a liar. So a Muslim who tries to convert you or tries to convince you of the good of Islam, this person is not lying. So if they are lying for the good of Islam, they are not lying.
Oh, wait. So
yep.
What you are telling me is, FYI, for our listener to understand. So if you are lying to bring somebody to Islam, that lie is not a lie?
Correct.
So if I tell somebody, accept Islam, and you will be able to drink alcohol even if you are a Muslim, will I not be punished of lying, even though that I know that I'm lying?
No, you will not be, because you are doing good.
So that is why you can lie and say, come to Islam and still drink alcohol and still do everything and nothing wrong in it?
Yes. So
perfect.
How this looks, the Sharia and the fiqh are the final exegesis of all of the verses of the Quran. Forget the Quran. All of that exegesis has been done, and you can find it written in black and white in the Sharia. So Muhammad did not lie except for three things: warfare. And don't forget, Islam is permanently at war. 2, settling disagreements. And 3, lying to your wife. Those are the three things where Muhammad was heard to lie: warfare, settling disagreements, and lying to your wife, which is allowed. So under settling disagreements, when you argue with a Muslim, you have a disagreement. To settle the disagreement, he can lie to you. Now, the best analysis of the topic of what eventually becomes obligatory lying in Islam, obligatory lying, is by Al-Ghazali, who's the #1 scholar of Islam after Muhammad, and he's even above the founders of the 4 schools. He says, speaking is a means to achieve objectives. If a praiseworthy aim is attainable through both telling the truth and lying, it is unlawful to lie because there's no need for it. When it is possible to achieve such an aim by lying, but not by telling the truth, it is permissible to lie if attaining the goal is permissible. Now, don't forget, it is always permissible to bring people to Allah. It is always permissible to make Islam supreme. So when the purpose of lying is to circumvent someone who is preventing one from doing something permissible, if you're opposing Islam and they are trying to spread Islam and you are opposing them, and the purpose is to circumvent you, then it is obligatory to lie if the goal is obligatory.
So by the way, Carolina, this is not called taqiyya. Taqiyya is when you lie in the face of you being about to be killed or punished. That's a separate thing.
There's a second definition of taqiyya. There's also tactical deceit for the purposes of spreading Islam. So there's a second definition.
They call it something else. Yeah, they call it something else. I forgot the exact name of that. But yeah, so basically Islam you can lie. And by the way, this reminds me of a 1 minute video. Let me play if you don't mind, because this is what a Arab scholar said in a live telecast. In a live telecast. Check this out, guys. It's in Arabic. The subtitles are there.
كان في واحد مسلم بجوار واحد يهودي. فالمسلم كان يرى من اليهود يعني شيء من الطيبه ولو كانت بسيطه، فكان نفسه باي طريقه يفكر طريقه يخليه يسلم بيها. فراح كلمه وقال له يا فلان، يعني اليس لك حاجه في الاسلام؟ انت ما نفسكش تسلم؟ قال والله ما يمنعني من الاسلام الا اني احب شرب الخمر. انا فعلا نفسي اسلم من زمان، بس انا الحاجه الوحيده اللي منعاني ان انا مدمن خمر. فالمسلم ابتكر له طريقه، قال له خلاص اسلم واشرب الخمر براحتك. طبعا المسلم مش قصده كده طبعا، فقال له اسلم واشرب الخمر. قال له خلاص ماشي. فاليهودي اشهد ان لا اله الا الله وان محمدا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. فقال له المسلم الان اصبحت مسلما، فان شربت الخمر طبقنا عليك حد الخمر، وان ارتدت عن دين الله قتلناك. فثبت الرجل على دينه ولم يشرب الخمر ابدا بعد ذلك. ودي كانت حيله جميله من هذا المسلم.
So, guys, this is how he explained it. Brother, what do you have to say about that?
This was a very good plan.
This is a very good plan. So he said, now that you have done the shahada, if you drink, you will be punished with the punishment of alcoholic drink. Means you will be use the hunter on you 100 times or 10 times or 50 times. And if you leave Islam now that you have accepted it, you will be killed, because that's the Islamic way. Man baddal deenu fuqtulu. So now that person remained a Muslim and he did not drink. Wow.
Yeah, so this is trickery, but this is considered yeah, but that's a story for another day. But the main foundation of lying within Islam is called hiyal, Hiyal. It is the oldest, most established form of trickery within Islam. It's called legal trickery. The first published works on this dates to the year 805, were the first complete. These are hundreds of strategies for deceiving people. It was originally applied to how to break promises, how to break oaths, how to break contracts. So technically, you're following the letter of the contract, but you can break those contracts by finding ways to word things, to break any oath, any promise, any contract, any agreement. All of these other forms of lying are basically subsets of those, and they all fall under a doctrine called rukhsa. But that's for another day.